We could.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining us in the co-host seat, as always, are our good friends, Miss Angela Rose
Hello, everybody.
and Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
And we want to remind everybody that Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by HomecircleMedia.com for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out HomecircleMedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you by Casey Fox for all of your artwork, cosplay, and commission needs. Be sure to check out Casey Fox. That's KAYCIFOXX on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're also brought to you tonight by Darren.
Yep.
For lawn care needs down in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, check out Triple S Lawn Care. Darren will give you a good deal at even better work. And tonight we are going to have a fun night. We're going to be reviewing the summer anime season and previewing the fall. The reason that we're probably going to do both is because summer has been a busy time for all of us, and some of the cast on the show here has very little anime to comment on.
But before we get into that, I have one question for you. One question. Now, most of the back end of this past week, up here at least, we were getting hurricane warnings and tropical storm warnings, and then it amounted to a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Except a day of rain. What about any of you guys?
We had some rain earlier this week, or I should say earlier last week, but really nothing horrible out here.
And we had rain multiple days this week that screwed up my days, and then had rain this afternoon. Prior to that hurricane that came up through Florida was a much needed rain because it was a consistent, steady rain that brought back to life a lot of my business.
And so one of my friends loves thunderstorms. And as we were driving around over the weekend waiting for the storm to start, that never actually happened. He says, what, you don't want to be isekai'd into a tornado? Making a joke and a reference and making me laugh because when you think about it, The Wizard of Oz, at its core, is nothing more than an isekai.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this amused me greatly, and I wanted to share.
And hello, Timothy and Mario. Thank you guys for joining us. Says it had a lot of rain in Florida, and they call them the Sunshine State.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Doug, but wasn't Homa from Smartphone isekai because he got struck by lightning?
In Smartphone, yes. God was playing with a lightning bolt and accidentally dropped it and killed him.
That's what I thought. I about got isekai the other day. I got literally the closest I've ever been to a lightning strike. I was helping a friend do something about 8 o'clock at night, and it was stormy that night, but there was no cloud to ground lightning anywhere that we could see. We saw a couple of bolts, but they were way off in the distance. Well, we happened to see the sparks, see the flash, and then the immediate thunder, and then we're checking over our heads to make sure there's no trees that got struck right above our heads, and we're right next to a pond.
Oh, fun. Good evening, John.
So
thank you so much for joining us.
I could have been like Toma the other day. Or Toya, excuse me.
Toya. Yes, it's Toya. You said Toma, and I'm like, wait, That's why I
Toy,
had the weird one.
not Toma, Toyota,
Eh,
whatever.
Toya. And like I said, tonight we're going to be looking back at some of the summer 2023 animes that have come out. We all had lists of stuff we wanted to watch. Didn't have the, not all of us had the time to keep up with everything that we wanted to because of life, the universe, and everything else, as Angela likes to say. I do want to start off, as I said, going into the summer season. I had one anime in particular I was going to watch, hoping it was going to be garbage, because I wanted to pick on it and make fun of it. And I warned Angela and Darren that I was going to go off on a little rant about the vending machine isekai tonight. And it's not so much of a rant as the fact that it doesn't deserve to be as good as it is, and it touches on subjects that I think a lot of people don't think about when it comes to the fantasy genres of not just anime, but video games, movies, things of that nature. And I know Angela likes the fantasy realm. She likes dungeons and things like that. But when's the last time, and this is a good question for you, when's the last time you saw a show set in a fantasy setting? Take out the fact it's an isekai. But, you know, we've seen the memes about, women in battle gear, scantily clad, doesn't cover up much. But you don't think about, bathroom breaks. You don't think about, you know, women being women in anime as warriors, the stuff that women go through. When's the last time you saw any show touch on any of those subjects?
Bikini Warriors, which was god awful.
I could make a case for Goblin Slayer, kind of.
I don't think that counts.
I said kind of.
Just saying.
Because the vending machine anime, in one episode, they are part of a team going off, on a quest, and the women talk about the need of having to use the bathroom. And so the vending machine transforms into an old Japanese style vending machine that not only had a portable toilet, but a banner you could put up for privacy around the toilet so that they could go to the bathroom in privacy and peace. And then a few episodes later, the most recent episode that dropped in English, Lamis, the main female character, starts talking about not feeling good, having cramps in her side, things of that nature. And the vending machine is like, yeah, she kind of is off like once a month. Oh, wait a minute. And immediately turns into a tampon vending machine. I'm like,
from a condom machine to
a bathroom dispenser to dispensing female necessities. And I'm like, that stuff you'd never really thought about when it came to like watching 4 seasons of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, never once thinking about how do any of these women, go about their daily lives and things of that nature, with the things that they have to go through. And as much as I wanted to like clown on this anime, it's actually been really good and touched on subjects that I think a lot of people don't think about.
Have you seen Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash? I feel like that one went into a little bit more depth, but I don't remember because it's been a while.
From the chat, Timothy is saying, okay, they're really stretching the premise of random vending machines. John Knight is...
Oh, happy birthday to Aaron Campbell.
Yep. And I did not realize Aaron Campbell was in Attack on Titan. That's cool.
Yeah, Aaron's been in a lot of stuff.
I cannot get behind the vending machine anime. Isekai, in my opinion, has gone too far. And I will stress in my opinion, it has its place.
And as far as the random vending machines, these are all actual vending machines based out of Japan from different time frames. And we all know Japan has kind of led the world in vending machine technology.
Japan.
When my friend went over there for his exchange, he can confirm there was a lot to them.
As can I. I will say, getting coffee in a can, heated to the correct temperature to drink, out of a vending machine was a trip. You could get soup you could get a can of soup in a vending machine, and it just
You can get ramen, you can get
pizza.
pizza, you can get all sorts of
I
stuff.
heard that DiGiorno is trying the pizza vending machine idea here in the States here soon. I heard about it on one of the AM talk shows the other morning.
That'll be interesting to see, but I will say some of their soda flavors are really weird.
Have you seen their Kit Kat flavors?
Yes, I have sampled many of them. Grape flavored Kit Kats, a little too sweet for my liking, but not terrible.
Well,
that's just bizarre.
Then, try peach flavored Coca-Cola.
Nah, I'm good.
I'll pass. I'll stick with cherry or lime.
That was one of the many options in the vending machine. And that vending machine was entirely soda.
Has anyone tried the strawberry Dr. Pepper?
Yes, and it's good. I like it.
No. And the chat has good. I didn't bring it up this time. The chat's going off on Attack on Titan. John Knight, I watched Attack on Titan final season, the final chapters, part 1 dub, and really enjoyed it. And then Timothy's response in Attack on Titan, you start off thinking it's the remnants of the whole world, only to find out it's an area purposely cut off from the rest of the world. Eventually I'm going to finish watching Attack on Titan.
Eventually, Attack on Titan is going to end.
And I'm guys, why are you making me do this again?
I didn't do it.
Because we can?
It's not you two, the chat, but I'm convinced that the final season, what
final season? What part of the final season are we talking about?
Yes. Basically, there's one story point that I want to see what they do with. The rest of it, I'm at a point where I'm going to finish it for the sake of completionist. Because I've invested this much, I might as well. And if they
might be in her 90s when it happens, but she will still finish it.
I thought that was a One Piece goal.
In One Piece, stick with the live action. It's only 8 episodes, and it's fantastic. But no, Tim. But no, Attack on Titan. I've been watching it subbed. There's one part we didn't watch because we were waiting for the next part, thinking it was not going to take this long. Yeah, I 100% agree, Timothy. Netflix did a really fantastic job with One Piece. And for those who weren't aware, it got announced that season 2 has been greenlit. It will come out eventually, but, due to writer strike and all that fun stuff.
It'll still come out before the end of Attack on Titan.
You might not be wrong.
That's going to be the new joke. What
Yep.
ends first, the isekai hype or Attack on Titan?
Well, at one point it was what? Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and out of those three, only one is still going.
But my goodness. So looking at the craziness that has been the summer season of anime, like I said, I had the little bit of a rant about vending machine, and I know Angela, it's a little too far fetched, but my God, it has no right to be as good as it is. And this is one of the times that I looked at an isekai hoping it was going to be trash. Yes, there's a lot of trash a lot of trash isekai animes out there, and I like some of them. This is one I was hoping was going to be absolute dog crap, and I wanted to make fun of it. It has no right being as good as it is, and I'm pleasantly surprised at the fact it's been that good. And Haru, I know you wanted some camera time, so you can say hello to everybody.
And while we're on that, hello, Haru. Timothy in the chat says the strikes are getting upset at the shows that are going ahead with new content without official writers. It's becoming a mess because some shows have permission within the union to keep production, and some it's a complicated mess, and then you got others that are trying to do everything and are getting called scabs.
Are we talking about what industry are we talking about?
The entertainment industry in general. I mean,
I get that, but are we referencing anime or are we referencing what are we referencing?
I'm
here?
referencing the writer strike as a whole.
Oh.
Going off on Timothy's comment about the strikes.
What I was about to say, because if there was an issue with anime, the fan subbers would take over like we did before there was official translations.
And then that would make me cringe, and I'd have it.
But the FFF fan subs were the best. That were literally the best group out there.
Basically, back in the day, my buddy had a fan sub copy of Bleach. I tried to watch it, but given that my degree is English, I couldn't. The subtitles were, you could definitely tell English was not the first language of the person doing the subtitling, and the grammar was so bad after 2 episodes I couldn't do it.
Well, to be fair, one time I was waiting for the English subtitles for a new episode of Pokemon back like 6-7 years ago, and I got impatient that the Spanish subtitles were out before the English, and I watched the episode with Spanish subtitles and made out 80% of what they were saying based on my limited knowledge of Japanese and my decent knowledge of Spanish.
Now that's pretty freaking awesome. Now this was middle 2000s when this happened. So, and this was before the
internet fan subgroups.
This was ultimately before the internet took over. And I'm also fairly certain this was a bootleg.
As was most of them back in the day.
But we're talking like 2006, 2007. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But that is the reason why to this day I've never seen Bleach.
You see Bleach all the time, just not that kind of Bleach.
And I have no desire to watch some of those older shows, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball. They never interested me when they were at their height back in the day, and I don't see the point in starting now.
Let me guess. You'd be more likely to go back and finish Fairy Tale.
To be honest, I would rather probably go back and watch more Fairy Tale. I'm not going to lie. I found it enjoying. At first, it just got boring when it was the same arcs over and over again, and only with different groups.
And I think that's like that is a thing we could argue is this it happens in all media, not just anime.
Oh yeah,
And it does happen across genres. And oh. All right, I'm hearing my neighbors, which is
Okay. So, Doug, what else are you watching that shouldn't be as good as it is?
shows that shouldn't be as good as it is.
Well, how about stuff you're watching in general?
Okay, here's one I wasn't gonna watch, but decided with my wife to watch it. And Darren, I know you're a sucker for wholesome.
Exactly.
Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence.
I believe that was on my radar.
This is a show about a pastor who finds a lady saint and takes her into his small little hometown church, a small village church. And when you pick up the story, they've already been together for a while. They've been living together in this church, and she's been the lady saint for the area. The previous lady saint that was found prior had passed away. And so they kind of try to keep it on the down low that Cecilia is a lady saint. But you can also tell that there is a romance interest between Lawrence and Cecilia. And it has been very cute, very wholesome. And Lawrence is right up there when it comes to the stupid main male characters who are so oblivious to the females who like them. I put it, he's high up there on how oblivious he is. But that's that's a trope we see in anime all the time. I know there's certain tropes that we all get tired of seeing. Angela's probably written, a 300-page book about it.
Not quite.
And most of it is why I hate isekai.
No, I have done those rants. I'm not going to do that now because
I got to poke the jab in there when I can.
Yeah. But no, occasionally I'm a sucker for a good love story. And that's the one show I've been watching this season. Episode 12 will be dropping later this week. But my the one show I watched this season was My Happy Marriage, and it's really, really good. It really gets all the feels, and it is a very cute story of two people falling in love, and I can't wait to see how they finish the season.
You might like Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. I'm not gonna lie, you might like it because it is a cute storyline. It's pretty well written, and there's some underlying things that have developed.
You need some Hori Mia in your life too. There's a reason it's one of the highest rated romances, period.
And considering, well, you can't see my stack of books, my stacks of books, but right now my pile of books is all romance novels of varying degrees, high fantasy, historical fiction.
And then we'll throw in a vending machine manga in there for you.
No,
Yet you refuse to watch High School DxD, even though it's got both of those.
That one's not so much a refusal, so much as it is my laundry list of to watch is long enough as it is. And Timothy saying, can't say I have any anime favorites at the moment. Can't believe I am a fan of Bluey.
don't be embarrassed about being a fan of Bluey, Timothy. That is a fantastic Australian cartoon. It's a kids show, but there's a lot of adult humor in there, and it is. I enjoy watching it when I've had the chance. So I will not make fun of anybody that's a Bluey fan.
And Timothy does not even know anything about High School DxD.
What
Go
high
watch
school?
it.
What is High School DxD about? It's about 4 seasons, 2 different studios, a bunch of
It
historical characters, a bunch of nudity, but
here's
very
the
good world building.
here's the question: is it on Crunchy?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, because it was a Funimation title.
If it's on
It should-
Crunchy, I'll get to it eventually. No
It
promises as to when.
It should be on Crunchy because, like I said, it was a Funimation title. So,
It is.
as noted, seasons 1 through 3 had the best art and animation. Season 4 had the correct story. So, I just really wish that the studio hadn't did what it did with season 3. Otherwise, we'd probably be in season 7 or 8 by now and covering the rest of the light novels. Because the light novels are that good. That's all I have to say.
And Nico and Koshi, game playing idiots, say lately they've been watching a lot of Symphogear. It's a really fun and cool anime.
I forgot about Symphogear.
I don't even think I know about what Symphogear is. Another show that I've been keeping up with, my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1. That has been a interesting show. It's a story about a guy who gets reincarnated. Um, so yes, another isekai that we love to talk about here so much, both the good and the bad. The thing that makes this one a little bit different is the main character is stuck at level 1. He can never level higher. That being said, his skill level is the drops he gets. He is an S tier. He gets S tier drops even at a level 1 skill level. So, and everything in that world is a monster drop. All the food, a lot of the items is all basically comes from the monsters that they defeat. The better your drop rate, the better the items that you get. And then they go and make their money by selling the items that they get, and that goes into the marketplace. And so it's been interesting to see how they've worked that idea into a story. But some of the characters are cute. Some of the storyline is all over the place. Not one that I think Angela would enjoy. There are some isekais I'd be like, Angela, I think you would enjoy this one. But in all seriousness, this one you would find very typical isekai. A lot of the same tropes that you see in all other isekais. Cute animal girls, a ridiculous story. But it's a fun one. It's one that I've just been enjoying. It's a good show for what it is. Just don't expect much from it. John Light in the chat says today is Kimberly Wood's birthday. Voices in SAO, Alicization, Demon Slayer, and Sanya and Kuma Bear. And None Your Business says that's talking about the OP level is OP even at level 1. Says that's the one where they get food from drops. That's a good one. Little romance, but nothing developing. It's more childish, but still fun. You can see.
To be fair, we never grow up, so.
Yeah. And Timothy, referring to that show, also says sounds like the typical treasure dungeon run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't lie. Knowing that Angela loves her tabletop and doing some of the goofy D&D builds that she's done in the past, I could see her watching some of the fantasy isekais just to get idea for stupid character builds for future campaigns. But I don't think she'd go into it for anything more than that. I don't know if that's something you've ever thought about doing, Ange, or
Building D&D characters, either A, I'll get inspired by what I'm currently watching, like the idea of building Maple for a giant battle royale, or I'll come up with a concept, or I'll have a stupid concept idea, and then work backwards with building it.
And then another show that I just caught up with before coming on the air, Am I Actually the Strongest? Story of a guy who gets another isekai, reincarnated into a world where every time they test his magical aptitude, it shows that he has a magical aptitude of 2, because all of the things they use to test are either two-digit or 3-digit numbers. And so everything keeps coming up with either 02 for magical aptitude or 002. And his magical aptitude, I think, is 4 or 5 digits before you get another number. So his magical ability is off the scale, but nobody knows it, and nobody really understands just how strong he actually is. As an infant born into a royal family, when they saw that he had a skill level or a magic aptitude level of 2, they abandoned him for fear of embarrassment. And he was discovered by a demon, is able to talk to that demon, convinces a demon that he is a demon lord, or she gets that assumption. And so the show begins from that point, and it's been entertaining. There's been some cute stuff in there. The fact that this character was a shut-in in his normal life and wants to continue his shut-in ways in the new life, as he gets brought in by a family that's Margrave, and they go. So there is some, clout with the family he's a part of. It's just been kind of interesting, and it took like 10, 11 episodes, but he's entered in a high school and having to interact with more characters, which he doesn't like. And I think they just threw another twist in there, which I like some of these twists. There was a female character that kept making appearances in the last like 3 or 4 episodes that you knew there was something up with this girl, but not sure exactly what. And the episode that dropped this weekend, it kind of explained a little bit more to the story that you didn't really see coming. So I'm hoping that'll continue to be entertaining. I'm not going to say of the shows I'm watching, any of them are top tier. I don't know if of the like 6 shows I'm watching, I don't know if I'd put any of them A tier or S tier. They've all been like B, C, D tier. I mean, I'd even put Vending Machine in a low B, high C tier. Probably low B tier, because it's been a lot better than it should be.
Oh, well, everything I'm watching this season is sequels. Well, that I've started anyway. I had a long list, but time is of the essence, and I only got 3 shows started. And Jobless Reincarnation continue. I don't care what anyone says, it still continues to hold its spot as one of the best isekai animes, considering it was one of the original isekai novels, and they created a whole studio just to do this series.
And I still haven't watched it.
Just top tier. finally starting to make progress after the initial incident and other series of unfortunate events that keeps happening in his life. So that's good. The animation is still very high quality, and it's just an all-around good show. And also watching Masamune Kun's Revenge, which has taken a couple of twists. While mostly predictable, there was one or two I was kind of surprised to see. So it's still a cute romance. And then lastly, as I mentioned earlier, one of the best romances, period, in anime, and that's Horimiya, The Missing Pieces. So all of these events take place during the series of Horimiya, but it's just like in addition to what the original show left out of the first season or the original airing. So it's just like a lot of bonus content. And to prove its ratings, it is within 100th of a point on my anime list of the parent series. I think Horimiya had a 8.2 and the side stories had a 8.19.
Horimiya, The Missing Piece is currently at an 8.2.
8.2. And what's Horimiya the original? 8.2 also?
I am not 100% sure.
All you got to do is go up to where it says more anime. It should say parent story, and Horimiya you should be able to click. Just scroll up where it says other adaptations.
I don't see that. Oh, there it is. Parental Story Horimiya is also an 8.2.
So they finally bridged the gap. So that just goes to show you the consistency of how good this series is. If you were to pull up the romance category, there are very few shows that get anywhere close to that level.
My Happy Marriage is showing an 8.24 rating. So that's a very popular one too.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, which might actually have a hand in why it's so popular. Could be wrong.
Which one?
My Happy Marriage, but just because it's on Netflix, it might be a little bit more accessible to some people for the anime stuff.
Well, about to say, but Netflix to the American audience just kind of brings a lot of stuff in their face.
That's kind of where I was going with that, was probably more people who wouldn't necessarily go out of their way to watch anime are finding that because Netflix.
But at the same point in time, if it was garbage, I'm sure the rating would reflect that it's garbage, whether it's Netflix or not.
True.
I think in some ways, I think some of the ratings that we see are self-inflicted ratings, whether good or bad. If it's a good show, more people are going to be apt to watch it. If you watched it and said the show was absolute dog crap, a lot of people are probably like, I'm going to avoid that.
And Timothy's kind of agreeing, saying the anime and cartoons on Netflix seem very hit or miss. And yeah, there is a good amount of originals. And yeah, let's be honest. If I thought it was crap, I'd have said so. Yeah. After watching episode 1, I would not have hesitated to say so.
Yeah, because we all know Angela will not hold punches back. If she thinks something is dog crap, she will tell us.
But no, My Happy Marriage is a good one. I think Zom 100 seems to be getting their shit together because episode 8 just dropped as opposed to 11 or 12.
Well, I have to say the studio quit midway through.
An episode was released. Whether that's all the problem solved or not, I haven't watched it, couldn't tell you. But
Well,
but after all the delays, seeing that an episode went up, that's something. Progress.
oh, the Misfit at Demon King Academy was finally back on track because it started dropping episodes again. Ayakashi Triangle, which was stopped last season, also started dropping episodes again.
And John in the chat says that he needs to watch Zom 100.
I've heard it's one of the best shows this season.
I've heard good things. I read all about the production issues and kind of decided I was going to wait until it finished, or at least wait until
You knew that there was going to be more on a regular basis.
Wait until the first 12, because 12 seems to be
The average season.
12 seems to be what 12 to 13 seems to be what most shows that aren't total ongoings seem to roll with.
You know, for a while there, it was 10 episodes.
And I remember when 13 was when everything other than like the big 3 or 4 was it self-contained, either 13 or 26.
And I was about to say, thinking about it now, there was quite a few shows where 26 was the standard. Because thinking back, some of the shows that I first got into anime with had 24 episodes. I think Girls Bravo had 24 episodes or 26 episodes, whichever.
Rosario Vampire was 24 episodes.
Yeah, 2 seasons. Shuffle was 24 episodes, 26 episodes, something like that. Baka and Test was roughly 24 episodes.
This sounds like this sounds like something for you too. Timothy in the chat. I forget the exact name, but there is one about a guy who moved into a dorm of college girls. He's kind of their dorm mother, and they all try and hit on him, but he's too naive to respond.
That kind of sounds like Temple or Temper. Where
there's also there's several shows like that.
Aaron's Love Life.
No, that too. Kawaii-so? No, that wasn't it.
While you're thinking of that, looking through some of the other shows that dropped this summer season, and looking at like the ratings, Rent a Girlfriend season 3 dropped, and I was curious to see how it's progressed in the rating on my anime list. Season 1 had a rank of 6.43. Season 2 did a little bit better at 6.85. Season 3 thus far has a score of 7.06. So each season, it seems like it's gotten a little bit better. I kind of got bored with it. Like season 1 was okay. Season 2, I lost interest, so I wasn't going to waste my time on season 3.
Which show was this again?
Rent a Girlfriend?
That's right. Apparently, part of the reason it probably has a good score is probably the most recent episodes, which I'm sure you've seen the spoilers floating around on the internet.
I, to be honest, have not, because I have not been on the internet a whole lot with work. I've been on the road a bit, so and usually when I'm stuck in the hotel waiting for the next train to bring back, I'm usually sleeping.
Just looking at the shows I had planned to watch over the summer and just didn't. None of them. The only on my actual list, the only one with a decent rating is Zone 100. The rest basically range from 6 point. Basically, it's 6.7 to where'd it go? 7. Basically, 6.5 to 7.
And the ratings of the shows that I actually am watching, am I actually the strongest is 6.51. Vending Machine is 638, which I think it's a little bit better than the rating that it's getting, but it also could be just, it is what it is. My unique skill makes me OP even at level 1 is a 6.23. Temple 6.77, which that has been a very interesting one.
It seems like the common consensus for this season is the low to mid 7s or the high to mid 6s for pretty much everything.
Saint
Minus a few outstanding ones.
Saint Cecilia actually has a 7.28 rating. Like I said, that's actually a lot better than I expected it to be.
Jobless Reincarnation has an 8.5. Horimiya Pieces is an 8.2, and Masamune is a 7.2.
And I'm sure a lot of people may be surprised knowing that I am a fan of some of the idol animes, but that Yohane the Parthenon spin-off of Love Live Sunshine did not interest me. I watched one episode and was like, this is just kind of stupid. They shouldn't have done the spinoff.
I'm just going through my watch list. My taste is my what catches my eye is so all over the place. So I just end up watching what I end up watching usually tends to be the oddball type stuff. And the, as you like to call it, overrated stuff. Because eventually I'm going to go back and finish watching Demon Slayer.
I mean, that's your thing, it's and like we said before, and Angela agrees with us, just because we may say something is overrated doesn't mean that we're saying it's bad. We just don't think that it deserves the hype that it has gotten. Especially when there are really, really good shows out there that, I may feel deserves more hype than some of the popular shows that nobody's ever heard of.
I think, and on that note, so part of my adventure, one of my adventures this weekend was we found a Gunpla store in the middle of nowhere in a converted warehouse. But I was surprised that it wasn't just Gundam, that it was Gunpla kits for a bunch of different shows. But what surprised me the most was there was a couple from '86, which is one of the more underrated shows that we watched and absolutely loved. And
I've
then
been meaning to watch '86.
I absolutely loved it, but
And hello, Sharka. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Timothy in the chat says, I find one's personal taste factors into liking a show or not. I can agree and I can disagree on that one a little bit. I think a lot of people, especially new into anime, get drawn in by what we refer to as the overpopular shows because that's what's in their face. My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball.
And I can actually attest to this. I saw it firsthand. We were at a Newbury Comics witnessing, obviously, brothers. The older brother, super into anime, had a bunch of merch. Little brother is shows his little brother the Naruto display and says, "When you're a little bit older, this is what I'm going to get you into." And Naruto is one of those, I'll call it gateway animes. That's arguably way too overrated. And not really my thing, but hey, whatever. But it was really interesting to kind of watch this exchange happening.
And I think that's where it comes into the play of, we all have our personal taste, but I think, the overrated ones is so many people's introduction to anime that a lot of, you'll see it both ways where somebody will be like, all right, well, we're going to get you to watch One Piece. And the One Piece live action may open the floodgates for a whole new generation and a whole new group of people to discover anime. It may work out into the favor of the anime industry and be like, look, this was great. We have all these people that are now interested in checking out these shows. And hopefully it works to where they check out the shows and find stuff they like, as opposed to watch it and continue with the misconception that anime is just cartoons for kids. And we've all heard the tropes growing up and all the people, bashing on anime and stuff where we've liked it. That's why a lot of us grew up being anime fans and quiet.
And Timothy in the chat says they like Boruto better than Naruto. That's fair. Never really got into either. But you are not the first person I've heard say that.
And, looking back through a bunch of the animes that we've grew up watching, there's so many, and this is funny because I'm cooking on the grill yesterday. Some of the neighborhood kids were around playing, my daughter had chalk out, so some of the kids were over playing chalk. And one of the kids in elementary school age was like, oh, you like anime? I like anime. I like Naruto and Dragon Ball and One Piece. And he's naming off stuff. He said, I think he also enjoyed, he's like, you should watch Demon Slayer. It's really good. And I told him, I said, I watched 6 episodes. It really wasn't for me. He goes, oh, but it gets really good. You just have to get past the first season of the movie. And then I'm like, yeah, there's just too many other good shows out there for me to sit through that much time and that many episodes for something that might pique my interest way down. Oh, you could just skip all of that. That's
not how that works.
That's the interesting concept coming from elementary school anime fan to an adult. It's kind of neat just to see that interaction and how they think about things.
And that's interesting. That is rather interesting.
Because we're seeing a whole new generation of anime fans coming in who look at this world so much differently than we do because of the experiences that we've had in our lifetimes of how we had access to the media for anime. The kind of shows that we had, that a lot of them, especially, elementary school, he's probably not watching shows like Rosario Vampire, High School DxD. He's probably not watching some of the more ecchi and more gory stuff. So.
And then just anime has, we touch on this. We've gone off on this a lot, but anime has become so mainstream in the past few years. Like back before the days of Crunchyroll and Netflix and streaming in general, you'd be hard pressed to find a lot of merch. And even if you could, it was either a figure you had to import or a t-shirt that was Pokemon or Naruto. And that was pretty much like it.
Opinion question. Do you feel 2020 and 2021 really contributed to the significant growth of anime in everyday culture? Or do you think it was already a thing that was catching on prior to 2020?
I'm gonna say 2020 and 2021, all it did was speed up what was already there.
I'm going to agree with that because I mean, think about the 9.5 years of this show. Looking back at the stuff that was just coming out and seeing how much growth we were seeing prior to 2020, 2021 when the world shut down. And everybody was stuck inside, and some people were discovering anime for the first time. But there were a lot of people who already knew it existed, and we had many shows talk. And the perfect example is how many times did we talk about pre-2020? Are there too many conventions? Not just anime conventions, but in general. Not just the anime genre, but how many superhero movies are there? How many sci-fi events and films and TV shows are out there, and everything kept growing.
For me, I believe it was 2019. My friend Carrie came up to Boston to run the marathon, and whenever she comes up for that, we always take a day and go out and do our catch up and see how everything is. And I took her to Newbury Comics largely because it was there. And she's got 4 kids. 2 of them are super into anime. And she'd never heard of Newbury Comics. And she was just floored by how much merch there was, commenting that she could literally do all of her Christmas shopping for one of the kids just by wandering around this store.
So I think that kind of answered your question there, Darren, about opinions. I think that anime was already on a big upswing, and the fact that the world was locked down because of a pandemic really, I mean, since the pandemic hit, we have seen a huge uptick. I would say the pandemic helped the VTuber world and the internet streaming gamer world more than it helped anime. We've seen more people rocket out and start making money from streaming online gaming and also the VTuber world because of the pandemic more so than it helping anime.
I'm going to amend that and say content creation, independent content creation in general. Like there's a lot of content creators that I follow on YouTube, and that's not specific to gaming. Basically, during the pandemic, when they didn't have their full-time jobs, basically took that to focus on their YouTube channel full-time, and then just never went back.
Maybe that would have helped us. Damn it! Why did I have to have one of those type of jobs that I was important and needed to work?
Same here.
You and me both, or
all 3 of us.
All 3 of us.
Because I was working in a mailroom, and mail didn't stop at all. And
I'm working in fast food, and that don't stop at all. And the grass.
I was going to say
landscaping,
mechanic work.
Yep, mechanic.
I mean, heck, you were probably busier during the pandemic because people weren't buying new cars; they were getting their current ones fixed.
And I was busier for the simple fact people were at home more and realized how much they hated their yard.
Yep.
Used to Saturdays would be like Home Depot, Lowe's, all the hardware stores and garden centers busy days, right? Well, during the pandemic, that business basically doubled. Because everyone wanted to do something in their yard.
Because that's all they could do.
Yep. And the wives finally got to extract the honey-do lists out of many of their husbands. And that was the end result.
as a result, uh, like there were certain types of like construction materials that the price skyrocketed as a
And
direct result of exactly that.
yep, I mean lumber. Like people were making jokes on the internet. Hey, honey, we're going somewhere expensive tonight. Going into a Home Depot because lumber was outrageous. It's
Yep.
still high, but nowhere near what it was.
That was the only way that the housewives could get wood. Wait, what?
Pretty much.
Really? Really? You went there?
Sorry.
Why not?
And John Knight says next year will mark the 10th anniversary of Crunchyroll, formerly Funimation, Simuldub.
And Timothy saying, at my age, while I have a good foundation for working with computers and electronics in general, I'm finding it harder and harder to keep up with the technology and improvements. And
Get a job with the railroad. They don't improve any. No.
Yeah, get a job with fast food. They don't improve anything.
yeah,
I mean, heck, McDonald's is taking out their self-serve soda machines. They plan to have them completely phased out in the next couple of years.
that's fast food gets. I
Petty.
spent, I spent too many years working fast food, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But
Cr- Crunchyroll was not originally Funimation.
Crunchyroll and
Crunchyroll used to
Funimation.
be an illegal streaming site that was forced into legality by what's the studio? Uh,
wasn't at one point one had the licenses, the other had the distribution rights.
That was more of
no.
that was Sentai Filmworks and Crunchy and High Dive. Sentai has the licensing, and then they distribute and stream everything through High Dive.
Yep. Crunchyroll was the go-to illegal anime site that went legal and deleted all of their material that they did not seek permission for. And a lot of it had to do with their, I think it kind of started with their Facebook page too. They had the largest Naruto page and still do. Um, and then they went on a warpath of taking over social media on Facebook. Me having been a victim of that, having several of my pages stolen from me via DMCA takedowns. But in doing so, I got to meet members of the Funimation team and the Crunchyroll team. It's how I got to meet Godswill. So, all in all, it was a worthwhile experience.
So
Go ahead.
so it's a similar origin story to Twitch.
Yeah, I guess you could basically say that.
Twitch was originally a uh, a site known as Justin.tv.
I remember that. I forgot about that. And that's where I used to go and watch streamers.
That's where I used to go to watch hockey and baseball games when I was could barely afford life post divorce.
Now, here's an interesting thing to think about. And I realized it the other day when I was out and about out in Maryland. This day, And Angela, coming out of the Boston area, we know that there is sports memorabilia everywhere. You always see people wearing shirts of their favorite sports teams. I'm starting to almost see. I don't want to say it's equal anime to sports in certain areas, but I think depending on an area you're at, anime shirts and merchandise are almost starting to outnumber some of the sports, depending on the areas that you're living.
I was gonna say depends on where you are. Um, and
Mhm.
in some cases, the sports and the anime gear is almost one and the same because certain these sports there's a couple of sports anime that are still very popular and you still see a lot of jerseys from said sports animes.
Yeah, I'm I would not be shocked, and this is coming as a longtime racing fan. I would not be shocked if within the next like 3 to 5 years, if we did not see some form of anime representation on a NASCAR stock car in one of the top three touring divisions, whether it's the Cup Series, the Nationwide Series, or the Trucks. It would not surprise me to see Viz Media, Crunchyroll, High Dive
um
on a NASCAR truck, on a NASCAR race vehicle.
I was gonna that I will potentially agree with. I thought you were going the other way and was going to point out it's already been done.
It
I
has.
have
There's plenty of Itasha, but no official.
no official sponsorship. Like I
No.
have not seen any anime related stuff in any of the NASCAR's top three series. Now, if somebody in, because I know NASCAR's got a lot of different levels, including they had the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series, which Seekonk Speedway, small short track in Massachusetts, was NASCAR sanctioned. Did somebody paint up their car to look like an anime character or put something anime related on their car on a local short track? That may have been done. I don't know. But for one of NASCAR's top three divisions, and I'll even throw ARCA in there, which isn't technically NASCAR, but it's a stepping stone to NASCAR. A lot of drivers have made their career through there. So I would even say, it might not be surprising to see anime sponsorship, like official sponsorship, somewhere in that.
Oh,
I that that's yeah, that's not outside the realm of possibility. I'll
I
agree.
mean, look at Japan. Look at their trains. Look at their planes.
Look
Look
at their
at
buses.
their other modes of transportation. What do you see?
I
It's
mean, there's an entire hotel dedicated to Kingdom Hearts
I
in Japan.
and it wouldn't even surprise me because like you have Formula One, which is one of the most predominant racing um, series, the FIA, one of the predominant racing sanctioning bodies in the world. It would not surprise me if they did something special at some point for a race in Japan because they have the Grand Prix of Japan if they still do that. It wouldn't surprise me if they incorporated anime in that. I mean, they put anime in the Olympics in Japan.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
I'm not
they
mistaken, when it was hosted in Japan, the original, I think Kizuna AI was supposed to be the representative for Japan.
I mean, there was Sailor Moon references during some of the stuff, and
it
Goku's voice actress was one of the people involved in it, I believe.
uh
looking in the chat here, going with the racing talk, Timothy says, not that it matters, but almost live right next door to a dirt racing track. Same here. Also live far enough away, but the Disney umbrella does not cover me. But down in Orlando, it's hard to miss a Disney representation.
yep. Um my sister did high school down in Florida, and one of the fundraisers was because she went to a Catholic school, and one of the fundraisers was the parents basically hawked food and beer at the Daytona 500.
And I bet they made a good amount.
I don't remember. I just remember my mom telling stories about it.
Because let's be honest, there's nothing NASCAR fans like more than food and beer, especially at these big races.
Drinking beer, watching cars go in circles, and crashing. Those are the big three things about NASCAR.
America.
Yep. Oh, see,
And
I
we've kind of
remember.
gotten off topic on this.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, we have.
But I've got more stories to go down this, which go ahead, tell yours, and I've got an interesting one.
No, just reminiscing about watching NASCAR with my dad as a young child. AKA not drinking beer, but watching cars go really fast and then marveling at the crashes because I was, under the age of 10 and therefore it was cool.
That was the Sunday tradition for us. Go to church. 9 times out of 10, go to Bojangles. I was 3, 4, 5, whatever, for lunch. Come home, and it felt like it.
We did.
Just saying, we went there a lot.
Well, you like Bojangles.
Yeah, I did.
Not anymore because he works there, but he did.
But anyway, so did that, and then when we come home, I would go into the newspaper and read the funnies with my mom a lot of times, and Dad would be on the couch watching NASCAR. And 9 times out of 10, we'd be in there with him. Even if we weren't paying attention to NASCAR, we were in the same room.
Yep.
And talking about, making fun of NASCAR, driving in circles and things of that nature, with some of the developments that happened in the NASCAR Cup Series this year, where it's been no secret that when NASCAR goes to road courses, a lot of teams will bring in what's known as a road course ringer. They will bring in a driver whose specialty is turning left and right, not just left, on the ovals. This year, Trackhouse Racing brought in a driver from Australia named Shane Van Gisbergen, who is a champion of the Australian V8 Supercar Series. And they put him in a car for the street race in Chicago. And in his first ever attempt in a NASCAR stock car, he won the race, which opened some floodgates to the point of which Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be driving NASCAR full time next year. As to which division, I'm not sure, but there's been a lot of talk that you could see him in a lot of the NASCAR Truck Series races, some of the Nationwide Series races, and even some of the Cup races. And he even said that, he's been a champion in everything he's driven. He's driven all types of race cars all over the globe. And driving on the oval track is something that he has found to be very challenging. It's something I think a lot of people poke fun at because it's just driving in a circle, which, how much skill set is there? But you also look at a lot of these races, it's very rare to see a road course race with a close finish. IndyCar, Formula One, British Touring Car Championships, just to name a few, there's a lot of close racing, but usually at some point in time, somebody just drives away from the field and it turns into a kind of a boring race because everybody's following the leader. He might have, 15, 20 second. Sometimes the tracks, it takes over a minute to complete a lap and they got a minute lead on second place. So it's like, who's going to win unless he makes a mistake. Where NASCAR, you see a ton of times where the top 5 will have less than a second between them, and any one of those 5 could win the race, even 500 laps in.
To kind of bring this to some level back to anime.
Hello, Sherry Chen.
Sherry Chen's comment is asking if you've read Denska D manga, basically Initial D, but with trades.
I have not even heard of that. That's interesting. Denska. Oh,
Densha.
Densha D. Densha D Day or D. Basically, Initial D. That could be interesting. I'll be honest, I've never heard of that. Thank you for letting me know about that one. I'm going to write that down.
Because you're the train guy.
Yeah. I'm a train guy. I play with the 1-to-1 scale now. DEN. I mean, Railroad onto Train Anime. Rail Romanesque, I heard, was getting a second season, which I don't understand why. I couldn't get interested into the first season. But let's take some time now and look ahead at the fall anime season. We'll get back on track with everything.
You say that like we ever do.
Wait, we have a resume on this show?
Occasionally we have an agenda, and by that I mean a loose idea of what we're going to talk about. So,
We have a basic synopsis of, okay, this is something to focus on after we get derailed.
and then we almost never stick with it because we just get derailed, and then, oh look, it's 10 o'clock.
kind of like the rabbit hole we just went down.
Yep.
And let me do this. So let's
But
get dangerous. So here is.
how about let's not kill your computer tonight?
Oh, but that's half the fun.
So we're looking ahead at the fall anime season, what we can expect coming up in October, since that's only a few weeks away. Paradox Live, the animation, is a new show coming out.
That's weird. It's not showing it on the mobile version. I wonder if it's because, I don't know.
Rising of the Shield Hero, third season. So we have more continuations of shows, like the 5 of the top 6. You have Shield Hero season 3, Goblin Slayer season 2, Spy Family second season, The Eminence in Shadow season 2, Dr. Stone season 2.
Part
Dr.
2.
Stone,
Part
New
2.
World Part 2.
New World Part 2.
Yep.
So many sequels.
It continues.
Tokyo Revengers is getting into a sequel.
And then after that, the Faraway Paladin season 2. Yeah, out of
Girlfriend season 2, which is worse than Rent a Girlfriend. I absolutely cannot stand that main character.
The Saints Magic Power is Omnipotent season 2. That I'm excited about. I'm not going to lie. That was actually really, really good season 1, and I'm excited to see, and I hope they continue. I may have to go back and rewatch that just to refresh, but that was a good one.
Dead Mount Death Play Part 2.
That one, the first part of that was on my list. Never got to it yet.
Same.
One on my list that we skipped over is a not part 2, The Apothecary Diaries.
I think we just went down the rabbit hole of look at all these sequels.
We did.
Pretty much.
We did, and then we finally get into not sequels, but a lot of really more isekai.
Of course, because what's a season without isekai?
And there's a show I see here, Friend Beyond Journey's End. That looks like that could be interesting. It might be something that I might check out. Adventure drama fantasy.
Wait, where are you seeing that one?
That
It's
was
near the
early
top.
on. That was near the top. We skipped over that one too. That was above
Ah.
the Apothecary Diaries.
The Demon King's been defeated, and the victorious hero party returns home before disbanding. The four mage Frieren, hero Himmel, priest Hyder, and warrior Azen reminisce about their long decade journey and bid farewell. But the passing of time is different for elves, thus Frieren witnesses her companions slowly pass away one by one. Before death, Hader manages to foist a young human apprentice called Fern onto Frieren. Driven by the elf's passion for collecting a myriad of magic spells, the pair embarks on a seemingly aimless journey, revisiting the places that the heroes of yore had visited. Along their travels, Frieren slowly confronts her regrets of missed opportunities to form deeper bonds with her now deceased comrade.
Oh, that sounds like
Wow.
that's gonna hit in the feels.
Wow, Doug's watching a show. Doug's gonna watch a shonen.
And the first episode has a duration of 2 hours.
Oh my god, I don't.
Another one of those. Where do you see that? Yup. And it's
Yeah, background. First episode has a duration of 120 minutes.
And that's like Oshinoko did that.
Several series did that.
It's Studio Madhouse. Interesting.
Well, Studio Madhouse has a reputation for good quality shows in the first place.
Agreed.
But
That's why I think it might be
I
a sleeper.
can't name a bad show out of Madhouse.
I don't think I can either. I think the best I could, or the worst I could say is there's been, I'm actually going to look now. Yeah, looking at this, there's a couple that I started watching and really just get labeled as not for me.
But I mean, with names up there like Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, One Punch Man, No Game No Life, Overlord, High School of the Dead,
Death Parade.
Nana was good.
Summer
My
Wars,
Love Story.
Summer Wars, Paprika, Overlord,
My Love Story,
Trigun,
Cardcaptor Sakura,
Chobits.
Overlord.
Wow. Yep.
Goodness gracious.
One Punch, of course. Chaos Head. People could argue on that one, but I liked it.
I'll give you all a hot take. One Punch Man, I did not enjoy. That one was not for me.
Chihaya Furu, I
Timothy,
believe.
Timothy says, "Dang it, I gotta go. Have a wonderful rest of your night."
Thank you so much for joining us, and I know you behaved tonight. You did not derail me.
And then, kind of scrolling back to the chat, John Knight says, "Definitely gonna watch Goblin Slayer season 2, Dr. Stone, Rising of the Shield Hero, Tokyo Revengers." Goblin Slayer, right there with you. That one's on that one's on my list.
Yeah.
As if anyone is surprised by that.
Chiho's Sweet Home was also, or Chi's Sweet Home was also Madhouse.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, this is
an impressive list. Looking way back.
Yep.
Is that Chobits?
Yep, Chobits was on there. So a lot of like really good shows, a lot of older shows.
Well, Madhouse has had a long
Final
run,
Fantasy
so.
show.
Batum? Never watched that one, but I heard a lot about it.
And it's still going. Good Lord.
Is that Iron Man?
Possibly.
Right. One more. Well, never mind. Yep, right. Back down. Back down. Right there.
Yeah, Iron Man right up here.
Huh. And was that Lilo and Stitch?
Stitch. Yep.
Wow, who knew Madhouse had their hands in so much stuff?
I know, right?
So that's just absolutely insane. As we said, Madhouse puts out good stuff. So that, like I said, that might be better than I'm thinking it will be. Like I said, Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotence, a show that I am definitely looking into. That I would definitely watch.
I don't see an English translation, but near the top, the girl clinging on to the guy is definitely looks like one up my alley. Scroll down. Next row.
This one here?
Yes, that one right there. It doesn't have an English title, but I'm already intrigued.
That just says romance.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Studio ENGI. What have they done? Oh, that same studio that did Uzaki-chan. Kimono Michi.
Uzaki?
Yeah, Uzaki-chan was done by ENGI Anime.
Sweet. And is that the detective is already dead right there?
Yep, looks like that. So they've got some decent titles out too. The Boat Anime Girl Anime.
What?
The what? Do you mean Kantai Collection?
Yep. Kantai Collection.
Oh my god.
Oh, we missed the sequel earlier, Doug.
What's that?
Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, Part 2.
Did we miss it or did we just not get there yet?
I don't think I got to
No,
it.
I think we were going over Season 2s, and I think we got further than that one.
No, because that has not on the web's page. It has not come to that yet. Because we have.
Well, I'm looking at the mobile lineup. So that's.
Oh no! You know what? No, you know what? It's directly on here. It's directly under Girlfriend Season 2. We kind of just backtracked and didn't get there.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a lot of the sequels are up near the top this time, as opposed to intermittently scattered throughout.
And a show for Darren, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really
love you. Yes.
Knowing
I've heard about that one.
Knowing you enjoy your romance anime.
That is all you.
Talk about a harem. I think of all the harems, I think that might take the cake.
And ironically, this doesn't even it themes harem parody school, and then at the top it just says comedy romance. One just from the artwork that looks like it could be interesting as well. The Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy. Maybe.
Is that more Seven Deadly Sins?
That didn't.
Yep.
That did not grab me.
Yeah, I see Seven Deadly Sins.
Where do you see Seven Deadly Sins?
Right next to Demon Sword Master. Because that looks like Meliodas.
Nope, you are correct. Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse.
Yep, it follows Meliodas' son, I believe.
I meant to watch Seven Deadly Sins and never did.
More villainous anime. That seems to have been big in the last couple of years. It is like villainous anime themes.
And then we've got more vampire. The Vexations of a Shouted Vampire Princess.
Comedy fantasy. That might be one I check out. I don't know.
Let's see. Next one, I'm in love with the villainess. So another villainous show.
Yep.
Yep, that's what I was just talking about. Excuse me.
After School Hanukkah. I'm skipping ahead.
Sorry, I'm looking at this one. A
No,
girl and her guard dog.
wait, Darren, do we have one in common? Because
Which
that's on
one?
my girl and her guard dog. Because that's on my
Yes,
list.
that. And never asked. She never asked to be the daughter of a yakuza boss. Her gangster grandfather took her in and raised her as part of the plan. It sounds like Nisekoi.
I just love. I Yakuza is a thing that very much interests me.
You know, this also could be like Full Metal Panic.
Never actually seen that.
I've seen the clips from it.
I cosplayed from it, never having seen it. A long time ago.
Some fully coolly.
Yep.
Shangri-La Frontier.
More Uma Musume. So there's season 3 of Pretty Derby. I need to watch season 2. I finished season 1.
Under Ninja looks. That's on my list.
Here's one for you, Doug. MF Ghost. Oh, it's a self-driving electric car. Have replaced internal combustion. So here's you Initial D style anime.
Yeah, and then underneath of that is a IndyCar / F1 style anime called Overtake.
Okay.
Oh, and then did you see this? More toilet-bound Hanako-kun.
Yep.
After School Hanako-kun.
So I can enjoy more toilet shows.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that show was actually good.
It was good. That was just a joke about the name being toilet. Shy, I'm not sure what to make of this one.
Hi, Ross. Glad to see you
Oh, there
joining
he
us.
is.
Hello, Ross.
All right, Mr. Ross. What's your take on these shows this season? Since you seem to be more up to date than any of us.
I will say one show that kind of piques my interest just by the picture is, and of course, it's a VR MMO. Action, adventure, comedy, fantasy.
Which one is that? Oh,
Torasu.
Torasu. Yeah.
No English title for that yet. But.
Oh, God. Yep. Nope. That one didn't grab me.
It kind of, it almost feels like it might have similar feels or similar, and I could be way off the mark, but it almost has a similar vibe to Recovery of an MMO Junkie, which I thought was actually a really good show.
Oh, I found your show, Doug. It's just way down here.
Idol Masters?
No, the other one. Heat the Pig Liver.
Well, I don't even see that, and I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
Buta no Liver Wakametsu Shiro.
I think I have to scroll way down for that.
No, you don't. You think you've already passed it. Yeah, you've already passed it.
Oh, it's right next to Fooly Cooly.
Yep.
Oh, okay. There it is.
Right there.
Comedy fantasy.
Isekai. An unappealing otaku awakens in the body of pig after he passes out eating raw pig liver. And he finds himself in the presence of a girl that can read minds.
Comedy fantasy. I don't know. I think I would rather watch the VR MMO anime than that.
I'm down for more horse girls. There's more Uma Musume airing.
I will admit, season 1 was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Idol Master.
I never got into the Idol Master stuff.
Idolmaster Million Live. And then we get into more.
There's that real Romanesque that I was talking about, season 2.
Second Hypnosis Mike, Division Rap Battle Rhyme Anima, which is the second season. Captain Tsubasa season 2.
There's a firefighter anime, and not Fire Force.
Firefighter Diago, Rescuer in Orange. There's a few things here that kind of pique my interest a little bit.
Here you go, Doug. I shall survive using potions.
And it's an isekai.
Go figure.
Karu Nasage died unexpectedly while walking home from her office job one night and suddenly finds herself in front of a man dressed in white. The man introduces himself as God and apologizes for his mistake that resulted in her untimely demise, vowing to make it up to Karu by
reincarnating her into another world. The next world's goddess, Celestine, reforms Karu's body and gives her all the concessions she asks for: the body she had when she was 15, the ability to make potions with effects of her choice, and a box with infinite storage space, to name a few. But soon, Kaoru realizes that despite being told otherwise, this new medieval world doesn't have much in the way of magic, causing her potions to be highly sought after by greedy nobles. However, by using knowledge from her previous life, she just might find a way to survive in this world using her potions.
Sounds like trying to save 80,000 gold.
It sounds like no offense, yet another isekai.
Another isekai that Dog would probably watch because it's a pharmacy style anime from the sound of it.
Shut up.
But is he wrong?
I might watch that. I won't lie. I might watch that. A lot of times, and it's silly, but a lot of times I'll watch shows based off of like the pictures or the characters. If the characters intrigue me enough, I'll check them out.
Ross is asking, finishing your upcoming season. He's a little behind trying to catch up, recovering from allergies this weekend. Ross, I feel that. The question is, Ross, ultimately, what's your thoughts on the stuff upcoming for fall? Because you seem to be more on top of this than any of us. And do you have a lengthy watch list planned already for fall?
And he had a lengthy watch list of summer. He's probably watched more shows than the three of us combined.
Entirely possible.
Ooh.
I think combined we have 10. Because I have 6. I think Darren started 3, and you have 1, not counting the One Piece live action.
I see a couple of good OVAs this season too. I think they are anyway. They look enticing enough.
Let's scroll down to see ONAs.
As far as OVA, we've got
Time Reincarnated as a Slime.
And there's several other OVAs that you can't see.
Because they are adult genres?
Pretty much. Oh, here you go. Here you go, Doug. Here's another one. 16-bit sensation, another layer. Devote your youth to developing a lovely Bishoujo game that will make players fall in love. So, another gamers.
You guys have fun with that.
No, thank you. I'd be more interested in watching the Spy Family movie, Code White. That'll be coming out December 22nd.
And Bunny Girl does not dream of a knapsack kid.
Digimon, as far as movies go, we've got Girls in Panzer Part 4, Digimon Adventure 2.
Pole Princess.
That would be one for Darren.
Komada, A Whiskey Family. Interesting.
Ooh. There's one of the more controversial animes getting a special. Has anyone seen Jasheen Dropkick?
No.
No.
I need to watch that one. And I'm sure you've seen the clip where a girl cosplays as Miku and then the girl steals her leap, right?
No.
No idea what you're talking about.
You would if you would if I sent it to you, I think. Oh, I did send y'all some stuff in your thing. One that'll make Angela probably relate.
And hello to me.
All right. I saw the messages come in. Didn't actually.
Yeah, that
Oh.
was funny.
Yep.
A meme poking fun of AOT.
Attack on Titan. Yep. I'm.
I mean, Attack on Titan when it first came out had a ton of hype and things. It had a lot of a huge fan base, very like devoted fan base. But I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot when they try to prolong the finale. And that's more saying of them going about the way they're going about things as opposed to being like, let's just kind of end it. Because a lot of people have lost interest because it's taken so long.
So Ross has a list of 12 for fall. 1 is an ongoing, 6 are continuations, and 5 are new shows. Granted, as of right now, my list for fall is 5. 2 of them are season 2s, 3 of them are new. We'll see how much I actually stick with. Granted, the one guarantee at this point is Spy Family.
I'm Spy Family is definitely one I'm gonna be watching season 2 of. I would say of the stuff that's coming out, Spy Family season 2 is a definite for me. The Beyond Journey's End is a very big possibility. Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent season 2 is a definite. I might check out the rom-com of 100 Girlfriends just for S&Gs.
Join me.
I'll probably be the one that watches it and Darren doesn't. Let's be honest.
Goblin Slayer is going to be my other season 2.
Yep. And then Shield Hero 3 for me. Eminence and Shadow season 2, of course. Spy Family 2. Need to catch up on Dr. Stone. Pickens and me, Nakimi. That one definitely.
So Ross's list of just second seasons or second parts: Faraway Paladin, Spy Family, Eminence of Shadow, Magus Bride, Dr. Stone, and Goblin Slayer. That is a respectable list.
Man. No.
Going back through to like I'm literally writing down the ones that appear interesting.
AJ and I went through that already, and I have a list.
You know what? I'm probably, because I watched season 1, I probably will watch Girlfriend.
I probably will too, and I'll still probably want to throw something at the computer screen. Who's your favorite out of those 3? Well, technically 4.
I don't know. I I don't know if I could honestly say I have a favorite because the whole concept is just kind of stupid to me, but it's been entertaining. And Demon Sword Master maybe is a potential.
Let's see. What was this one again? No, I'm not watching no Vampire Princess. Not watching another villainous show.
There's actually I'm not gonna lie, there's actually quite a few that I have written down that is potentials. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7. I've just found number 8.
Here you go. Paradox Live. Hip hop culture.
That doesn't interest me.
Hmm. Oh, I'm probably going to be watching Heat the Pig Liver just for the heck of it.
I'll leave that one to you.
I'm gonna listen to you say that, and then you're gonna join in at some point.
Oh God, here we go again.
Although I would be more surprised if Angela actually watched it.
What, pig liver?
Yeah.
Doesn't interest me.
It doesn't really interest me either.
You say that now.
And the reason I say it doesn't interest me, and the difference that I say about that as opposed to vending machine, the vending machine concept interested me. Pigs, no.
I'm gonna actually, you know, who is planning now? I'm gonna use that as a segue. You know, who is planning on watching the pig is Ross. Out of the 5 new shows this for the fall season, he's got Heat the Pig, 100 Girlfriends, You Were Experienced, I Was Not, Girl and Her Guard Dog, which is on my list, and finally, I'm Giving the Disgraced Noble Lady I Rescued. And that's his list for the season. That's still a respectable, impressive list, Ross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee you that my wife will be watching Megas Bride Season 2 Part 2, and Spy Family will probably be watching together for Season 2, and Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent we may be watching together. We both enjoyed Season 1.
Like I said, AJ and I picked out a list. We went through the list for fall. We picked out 3 new shows. Spy Family Season 2 is a must, and Goblin Slayer Season 2.
Now, if I knew that we all had time to sit down and watch, like, if I knew that all of us had the time and we could pick out one anime at random to be like, you have to watch the first episode and review it, I would think that would be fun, because I know we would all pick stuff that none of the other ones would really ever take the time to watch.
Honestly, I feel like if we were going to do that, the pig liver one is the one I feel like we should do that for, all 3 of us. Just because it's come up multiple times now, the premise is ridiculous, in my opinion.
I mean, I have no interest in watching it. To be honest, outside of this show, I forget that that's even a show coming up. Like, Vending Machine was there. That stayed in my head. Pig Liver, like, I'll go to work tonight in like 3 hours and be like, I don't even remember that we talked about that.
Whereas that's so out there that it's one I do remember us talking about. And I suppose that's another one where my immediate knee-jerk reaction is, but why?
Because they want you to see it.
Where to go?
They want you to enjoy the pig liver. Oh, that might be something fun for us just to be able to do.
If we all
in the
watch
future.
if we all watch the pig liver episode 1, and then we do an episode where we literally talk about episode 1 and review it. I feel like that could be a fun show.
It could, because we all would probably. It'd be interesting to see. Okay, is Darren right? Is that one that I actually might enjoy watching? I don't know what studio or what site.
It's based on a light novel, which in and of itself means hit or miss for me. Studio is Project Number 9, which, looking up, it looks like they've done a lot.
Oh, okay. I know a few of these shows just by the pictures.
I do not recognize any.
Because we have, and You Thought There's Never a Girl Online, which was decent.
Girl and Her Guard Dog is being done by the same studio.
Oh, this one. What's the English title? My Tiny Senpai, which is airing this season. I haven't watched it, but I recognize the picture. Oh, this one is familiar. What was the English title for this? Didn't I say make my abilities average in the next life? That one was actually somewhat decent.
One that Darren, another one by this studio that Darren didn't shut up about for a while was The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. Morisekai. Yeah, just looking at this list, what is this one? Because this one looks like I might have.
Trying to see what the English titles are on some of these that looked familiar.
I'm doing the same thing.
Oh, Hexeros. That one I watched. Super Hexeros, which is kind of it's a very ecchi anime.
But
that one actually wasn't bad either.
But case in point,
My Mom's Stepdaughter is My Ex.
Oh my God. No.
That was one that Darren, you had brought up in the past. I don't think you watched it. Bottom tier character Tomazaki.
Ross, curious on this. Choose spoiler or no spoiler, because I know of something for Doug's surprise face, because I watched a manga reading stream a couple months ago, so don't know if it will show up in the anime. Would you like to know?
Yes. Throw it out there. So, but what is a spoiler? Is it? It's talking about a manga that he's been reading.
I don't know.
But throw it out there. Let's see what happens. We got about 6 minutes left. And thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of flown by really quick.
Agreed.
And Darren even stayed awake for most of it.
I was going to say, I think we lost Darren in the past 5 to 10 minutes.
But, and big thank you to everybody who, if you're tuning in through the podcasting platforms, we really appreciate you guys all tuning in for listening to us talk about the shows that we love, enjoying our little tangents when we go off the rails.
Sometimes they cause it. Sometimes they just go right there with us. And John in the chat says, next week is the first day of fall. Yep, the year has flown by. Ross, on the 100 Girlfriend That Really Loves You, the main character gets a mom and daughter as a girlfriend. and he was watching a manga reading stream.
Okay. I don't know if that's so much as a spoiler as, okay, well, now be prepared that there is a mother-daughter team.
You know what? Straw poll for the chat that I'll probably, if I remember, I'll put on Facebook tomorrow. Would the chat or would people want to see us pick one random show that we wouldn't pick otherwise? I'll watch episode 1 and then do an episode where we talk about said episode, give our opinions, potentially a review.
And we just do it based off of like the first episode of a random series. Not so much of a series review, just an episode review.
Just the episode 1 for like possibly the pig liver anime or something equally ridiculous and random.
But that would be that'd be interesting. I think that could be something that would be fun for future show. Even if we just devoted, 15 to 30-minute segment of a future show. And Ross says, of the 100 girlfriends, the mom is widowed and raised her daughter on her own for 15 years. Hey, it is what it is, and
exactly.
we weren't questioning it. I'm sure there was a logistical reason for it. So,
excuse me.
Why anime logic? Everything has a logistical reason.
Yep.
We may never understand it, but I think it's Aki who has a stream that she's done called Why Japan.
Yep, that's Aki.
So we watch some of these animes and go, why Japan? But then we just leave it at that.
Also, another completely random off the rails thought. But several of my friends ended up going to a video game convention out in Las Vegas earlier this summer. And they were talking about going back again next year. If I went with them and basically brought the equipment to basically do some semblance of a live stream walking around the event, would people actually want to see that?
Put it up there. I will be honest right now. I would even go so far as to attempt for press or a table.
Well, so it's something like that. Evo is more of, it's basically fighting game tournament stuff. Apparently there was a fair amount of cosplay and a fair amount of content creators just wandering around live talking about what was going on.
But I definitely would not be opposed to doing that, because if you look at the views we've had on our live streams from conventions, there's an audience for that. We get a lot of views on the shows that we've done live from conventions, whether it be PuchiCon or Rail City or Vermont Sci-Fi. We have a decent amount of people that tune in and watch us live stream or watch the streams after the fact. So I think that would be, I don't see anything negative that could come from that.
Fair enough. That's the other thing I'm doing, is starting to look at conventions for next year, trying to figure out what I can and can't get press for, what I can and can't afford to get to, things of that nature.
Oh, yeah. And we are excited to announce that we are at 289 subscribers here on YouTube. So if you're new to the channel, help us hit that number. We are closing in on 300 subscribers, which I have an awesome thing to give away when we hit 300.
Ross says in the chat that his sister is getting induced tomorrow. Once again, hope mom and baby are
safe,
healthy, happy.
Congrats on being an uncle.
Congrats.
Definitely all the prayers and everything go out to you. On that note, thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. It has been a blast. We really appreciate everybody who joins us live in the chat room, and of course, all of you amazing people who listen to us after the fact on all the podcast platforms. It really means a lot to us. Thank you for your continued support. We'll be back next week. Tentative guest is Rick from Nerd Urbanity. Hoping that he'll be able to join us because he is just an awesome person to talk to. Really, really cool stuff that he has. Angela got to meet him face to face earlier this year at Rail City, and hopefully he can join. He'll still be able to join us. Until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Stay safe out there. Keep watching the anime, and you've been listening and watching Anime-Zing Radio right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Good night, everybody.